Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be playing and looking at, again, the Rhinoceronte in particular, because I've been watching replays of it. People that send me the replays in, I've been playing it, and I have to sort of talk about the tank a bit more, because honestly, right now, I think that this tank is probably one of the best tier 10s in the game, especially one of the best tier 10 tech treat tanks in the game. Do I think it's still going to remain this strong for years to come? No, it probably won't, or I know it won't. But, you know, let's talk about the tank as it is in the state it is in now. So, of course, it is the auto-reloading tank that does only have 2 shells. Now, other than that, really, there's not too much going for the tank. The turret armor is 205. The turret is quite strong. To be fair, there are a few weak points, but overall, I think the turret is quite strong. Of course, if people start switching to their premium rounds, and as soon as you sort of start angling a little bit, then yeah, it does become a little bit weaker. And the hull armor is nothing really to write home about. The upper plate is okay, but other than that, you've got 130 millimeters of hull armor. Your DPM 2592. Of course, we are running this with calibrated shells, just like we do with most of our tanks now. So it is a little bit lower, but the penetration is a little bit higher. So your reload between each shot is 3.3 seconds, and as I've said, there are 2 shells in your magazine. If you shoot your first shell, you've actually got an 8.3. It's shell 1 and shell 2. It's sort of the other way around, really. So you shoot your first shell, you've got, well, it says shell 1, 9.72 on your reload, and shell 2, 8.33. But I think it's pretty much the other way around. See, the first shot you shoot is actually 8.33, but it's the second shell that you reload, if you get what I mean. If you shoot them both, then the second shell you reload. So your shells in the magazine is 2. So yeah, and because the reload isn't that crazy, it doesn't really matter too much if you do have to shoot both shells, because you know in around 9-10 seconds time you have another you have another shell. Whereas normally now, especially with the auto reloaders, there are that shell, the reserve shell, that takes ages to reload. At least that isn't that, and if you want to shoot both shells, then of course you absolutely can. Your penetration is 278 on your AP, 362 on your heat, which is pretty decent, and 70 on your HE. You've got a 420 alpha gun, so you shoot both shells, so in around sort of 3 seconds you can do 840 damage plus, or a little bit less than that, depend obviously on the average roll. You've got 370 on your heat, and you have 520 on your HE. So again, you come up against a grill not running the spool liner, you could do over 1,000 damage with both of your shots. Your aim time, sorry, is 3.2, so not too bad, and your gun dispersion is 0.317. Again, not too bad. You have 7 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour, which again is not too bad. But honestly, right now, especially when it comes to tech trees, I do think this is probably the one of the best tier 10s in the game. And of course there are going to be people that completely disagree, which is absolutely fine to disagree. Everyone has their own opinion, but just by seeing the amount of replays that I've had that have been sent, the damage that they're doing as well, and of course my own experience, I do honestly think this is one of the best tier 10s when you actually play it correctly. Now again, you do have the armor that you can bounce. It, again, like I spoke about just a minute ago, it's not the best armor, but you can get bounces on that armor, especially your upper plate, and especially that turret if you are in a hold down position. If you're on flat ground, of course you're not going to bounce too much unless you are extremely lucky to get those bounces. But it's definitely worth a grind, especially as you don't want it to be nerfed just yet. So honestly, go grind the line, because it definitely is worth grinding. Now, we are going to get, let me just turn this down a little bit. We are going to get a few bounces this game, not too much, but we kind of probably get lucky, because right now we have decided to push a little bit further forward. And as you can see, we're not getting any bounces whatsoever. And the T100 Lite, he's struggling to sort of attack me, because I do have my my team sort of behind me there. So, well, a little bit behind me. He could actually attack me, no problem at all. But he decided to run away. We do get our first bounce. You get one shot there. We are going to go for the second shot, hopefully to bring him down to a one shot. And then again in 7 seconds, or 7 or so seconds, we're going to have another reload. But luckily our guys do, our T100 Lite does manage to kill him before I get to him. But yeah, you know, people misjudge this tank. They seem to think it does have 2 shells, yes, and then as soon as you do shoot the 2 shells, then they kind of rush you, because they think then you're going to be on a mega reload, especially those players that haven't played the tank. They know it's got 2 shells, because obviously they've seen the tank, and then they sort of rush you, not really understanding that you've got quite a short reload. So yeah, it's definitely worth the grind. It is a fantastic tank. You can pump up that damage very, very, very easily and quickly if you get your tank in the right situation, in the right positioning. So we're just going to watch. We're not going to watch all this game. It's 7 minutes long, and it's he gets very unlucky, to be fair. But we're going to watch. Let's just watch the majority of it. So again, I would always try and find a ridge. You're not going to guarantee to bounce everything that comes your way. And if you can, I would still try to reload both shells. Again, if you can't and there's a tank in front of you that you've got a free shot on, then I would 100% take the shot, because by the time you have reloaded that second shell, then it might not be there when you actually reload. Now, one thing that you do have to remember, if you are going to just fire the 1 shell, you do have that 8-second reload, but on top of that you do also have the 3.3-second reload as well, the intra-clip reload. So you don't just look at it and think, wow, bloody hell, 8 seconds and I'm going to reload. It's more like 11 or 12 seconds until you've got that first shot again. So again, if you definitely can take out a tank as well, yeah, use that second shell. So what I love about it is the fact that, yes, it is the auto reloader, but honestly, it really doesn't matter how you play the tank. Of course, it is better if you can reload both shells, of course, and your DPM dramatically increases. But yeah, it doesn't matter too much if you don't reload both shells, because the reload is just so short for an auto loader or an auto reloader, and then it doesn't matter too much like that. Take the shot because it's there, bring that Death Star down hit points, and then just reload. And then in 9 seconds time, which is a standard reload really for a heavy tank of like this, it's a standard reload, that 9 seconds. And if you want to shoot that 1 shell that you have reloaded, then do so. But if you want to then reload both shells, then again, you could do that as well. So that is why I absolutely love this tank, and why I think it is one of the strongest tier 10s in the game at the moment, especially the strongest tech tree tank. Of course, there are the XM, which is my favorite tank. Yeah, that is strong, and you do have other premium tanks that are strong, but when it comes to tech tree tanks, I definitely think this is the strongest in the game at the moment. So let me know your thoughts. Are you with me or are you against me? Again, if you are against my opinion, then that is absolutely fine. I'd love to hear what you think is the strongest tier 10 in the game right now in the comments below. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.